Star Wars 7x7 episode 2825. Well, the floodgates have opened, and now that they started reselling tickets for Star Wars Celebration, they've also started making announcements about what is happening at Celebration. Well, I mean, sort of, kind of. So we will run down what new things have been announced, where ticket status is, and also do the initial hypothesizing of what the main featured events are going to be. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, with Celebration Anaheim 2022 seemingly full steam ahead for May 26th through May 29th, that is Memorial Day weekend, we've got some new announcements, particularly in three categories: photo ops, featured guests, and stage hosts. For the photo opportunity situation, 3 people have been announced so far, and I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg. So appearing on all 4 days will be Anthony Daniels, Ashley Eckstein, and Ian McDiarmid. Of course, C-3PO, Ahsoka Tano, and Emperor Palpatine, naturally. So that's that. For the featured guests, only 2 of them have been announced. I'm sure there's going to be a raft more coming soon. But Doug Chang, who is, of course, the concept artist extraordinaire, is going to be there, as well as Steve Sansweet, who is the head of Rancho Obi-Wan. And then 2 stage hosts have been announced. That would be Amy Ratcliffe from Nerdist, who has been a stage host at Celebration a number of times and has been a guest on the podcast a number of times as well. So very exciting to see that she's going to be back on stage. And also Dan Zare of Coffee with Kenobi. This is going to be his first time hosting a stage Star Wars Celebration, and he also has been a guest on the show too. He's a fantastic guy, and I'm so thrilled. As far as what stages they're hosting, we don't know that just yet. They also haven't started listing what the stages are. Usually there's a celebration stage, which is the main stage. Then there's a galaxy stage. There's a behind the scenes stage and other things like that. So there's still a lot more that we have to learn. And I'm sure we're going to be learning about it naturally in the coming weeks and months. Now, there's been no programming announced yet for Celebration Anaheim 22, so I went and looked back at the programming for Chicago in 2019 and Orlando in 2017. So I would say 2019 is probably the nearest equivalent to what we might see in terms of how the Anaheim 2022 experience will be in terms of major panels. And maybe we can learn a little something too by looking back at Orlando. So let's start with Orlando. And what I mean by the major sort of event panel situation is every day of Star Wars Celebration, there's one panel that happens around like 11 a.m. or so local time on the Celebration stage. That is the signature panel. It's the big highlight of the day. For Orlando, on the first day, it was a celebration of the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, because that was in 2017. The second day, it was a panel about The Last Jedi. The third day, it was about Star Wars Rebels, and the last day, there wasn't really much jumping out in that way. Chicago, however, different story entirely. So on the Thursday, they is that right? No, I'm sorry, the Friday, excuse me, because it was this weird Thursday through Monday situation. Thursday was a preview day. Friday, the big thing was the Rise of Skywalker panel, and I should say that with Orlando and with Chicago, they debuted a trailer for those 2 movies with those. So Friday, the first full day of the convention in Chicago, was about the Rise of Skywalker. Saturday, the big thing was Galaxy's Edge, because it hadn't yet opened. Then Sunday was about The Mandalorian, because that still hadn't debuted yet. Isn't that crazy to think about? And on Monday, the final day of the convention, the big thing was the 20th anniversary celebration for The Phantom Menace. So what does that mean for Anaheim in 2022? Well, the fact that the Kenobi series is going to be in progress while Celebration Anaheim happens makes me wonder whether we're going to have any major Obi-Wan Kenobi content. Usually these panels are forward focused, and we will be, an episode in, so, at most, maybe there will be a sneak preview of the second episode. Possible, I suppose, but that feels like the unlikely scenario to me. So, because of the fact that movies tend to be, the biggest things as far as the world of Star Wars storytelling goes, my thinking is that Thursday may be dedicated to some reveals for Rogue Squadron and perhaps even a look ahead at what 25 and 27 will bring in terms of Star Wars movies. Based on where we are now with the potential pre-production happening for Rogue Squadron, presuming it's still happening because it's really been radio silent, we just know that the movie is still on the release calendar for December 23. There's nothing trailer-wise that they can show us right now. They can just do what they did at the end of April of 2014, basically with The Force Awakens, and just reveal a cast and reveal where they are in the midst of the production. Then moving on to Friday, well, it kind of steps down, right? And so if they do anything about movies on Thursday, then Friday ought to be live action television because the Kenobi series is already ongoing. I think that Andor is going to be the focus of the main Friday big, enormous panel, and that would be, I would like to say that's a day that we could get more footage of Andor. It's kind of hard to imagine that being the case when the Kenobi series is ongoing, but it really does seem like Andor is the one that would get the most attention at that point because it's not like they gotta hype the Kenobi series. The Kenobi series is already ongoing, you know what I mean? And then there are the other series currently in development, which include the Ahsoka series, which may still be in the writing stage. We don't really know where that is just yet. The Acolyte series, which also may be in the writing stage. We still don't quite know yet. And Mandalorian Season 3, which is definitely shooting right now, but it's probably still too early for us to see any footage of it yet. Then moving on to Saturday, I was kind of going back and forth on what I think my prediction for this would be because they did the Galaxy's Edge thing in Chicago in 2019, and they haven't had the opportunity to talk about Galactic Star Cruiser at any Star Wars Celebration, but it's already launched, it's ongoing, and I guess they're booked for the first few months or whatever, so it seems like something that they would bring to Celebration and do something with, but I don't know if it's going to be the main stage kickoff kind of situation. So the thing that I'm wondering about, because this would be the other thing that they might do, is Bad Batch Season 2 and having there be a big preview around that. That's something that they did with Rebels, but Star Wars Resistance didn't quite get the same love by comparison, but that whole series, I think, kind of didn't get the same love by comparison, in a couple of different ways. But I think with the Bad Batch, there's enough juice behind that could certainly be the Saturday draw for the main Celebration stage panel that happens that day. Then finally there's Sunday, and this goes back to what we saw at Celebration Chicago, since that was the year they did the 20th anniversary situation for the Phantom Menace. Well, this is the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones this year, and they're already putting out merchandise highlighting the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones as part of the whole Star Wars Celebration merchandising efforts. So that's what I think is probably going to be the big focus for Sunday, that they're going to do some kind of panel for Attack of the Clones, which means, well, Hayden Christensen, he should be a part of this, I would imagine, especially considering the fact that he is back in the fold, as it were. He was there for the Phantom Menace stuff, and he was there for the 40th anniversary Star Wars stuff in Orlando, so there's every reason to think that he would be around for the Attack of the Clones panel. Ewan McGregor, of course, for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Whether Natalie Portman shows up, that's an open question, and would be awesome if she did. Not to mention the rest of the cast, of course, and we already know that Anthony Daniels and Ian McDiarmid are going to be at Celebration, so there's two more right there. A cast reunion certainly seems like it could be in the works. All the people, all the players are there and potentially available for it. So there you go. That is the update on Star Wars Celebration as it stands right now, and that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.